Hello there, I am the Morgan Place, and today I decided we are going to rank the Fallout DLCs. Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4. I will only be including the actual DLC, so in Fallout 4 I will include Far Harbor and Nuka World, because I don't consider the others actual DLC. And in Fallout New Vegas I will only include Dead Money, Honest Hearts, Old World Blues, and Lonesome Road. Nothing like gun runners and stuff like that. Now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. Coming in at the number 11 spot, I have Mothership Zeta. Where do I begin with this DLC? It is the worst out of all of them in my opinion. I think its main problem is it's just really boring. The story isn't interesting at all. Not a fan of the characters that much except the samurai. I don't know why, but something about him I did really like. Sally, on the other hand, was easily the most annoying character in the DLC. So the environment of this DLC is boring as well. Everything looks the exact fucking same. The enemies are nothing special neither. Overall, it's just not a good DLC at all. Coming in at the number 10 spot, I have The Pit. Now, I know a lot of people like this DLC, and I do. Only for the story, though. The gameplay I'm just not really into. There isn't enough in my opinion. The DLC only focuses on the story about Asher and Warner. One thing I do like about the DLC is the atmosphere. Being in Pittsburgh was a cool idea for a new location, and also the last battle was very underwhelming, which was very disappointing. The thing I really do like, though, is the steel yard. It's a cool idea to locate all of the steel while fighting the Trogs, but overall not one of my favorite DLCs. Coming in at the number 9 spot, I have Broken Steel. And to be honest, there's not a lot to say about this DLC. It was an add-on to the main story where you finish off the Enclave. I do like this DLC, but it's not an official DLC. Really, there isn't any new story or new characters to it. The gameplay I really like, though, against the Enclave is really good. Like I said, there isn't a lot to say, honestly, except I would rather play this over The Pit and Broken Steel. Coming in at the number 8 spot, I have Honest Hearts. Honest Hearts takes place in Zion Valley. I'm saying this because it's one of the biggest reasons I like the DLC. It's the environment. A rocky mountain-like location. The only problem with the location is it is hard to get around. The biggest problem, though, is the rushed, boring story to this DLC. Story seems rushed and it isn't anything really exciting. Two tribes are Dead Horses, led by probably the best character in the DLC, Joshua Graham, and the other tribe is the Sorrows, led by Daniel. They are together against the enemy tribe called the White Legs, led by Salt Upon Bones. Joshua wants to fight the White Horses and keep the land, while Daniel thinks it's best to move everyone out of Zion. It's not really an interesting story from the start, but there are certain quests, like Rite of Passage, where you literally take drugs and fight a flaming Yaoguai. Like I said though, Joshua Graham is easily the best character because of his backstory with Caesar's Legion. That's why it comes in at number 8. Sorry, but you can't expect God to do all the work. Coming in at the number 7 spot, I have Operation Anchorage. This DLC takes place against the Chinese in a snowy winter simulation. This DLC is loaded with action. Although the story in the simulation isn't very interesting, in the real world it is. You meet a group of brotherhood soldiers and scribes and help them unlock a vault full of weapons and materials used from the Anchorage War. Most of them are complete dicks, and you know that when they all fight each other for the items. At the end of the DLC, you must fight them off while they are fighting each other. Once you finish that, you get to take so many nice items, such as the Chinese stealth armor. That's why it comes in at number 7. Coming in at number 6, I have Nuka World. This DLC is the literal definition of action and gameplay. This DLC is about an amusement park surrounding the beverage of Nuka Cola, although now it is ran by a bunch of raiders. You can work for them and run the place, or work with the slaves and kill all the raiders. As you can see, the story isn't that great, but the action and how fun the different locations are in Nuka World give it a pass because there's so fucking much you can do in this DLC. Each location in Nuka World has its own big quest, as well as places like Safari Adventure, where you help Cedo fight off the Gator Claws, or in Kitty Kingdom, where you deal with Oswald the Outrageous and his ghouls. Overall, a great DLC. Coming in at the number 5 spot, I have Dead Money. Dead Money is an interesting one. When I first played this DLC, I fucking hated it. So much. Everything annoyed me, the environment, the enemies, and the radios, especially the fucking radios. But since that, this DLC has actually grown on me. I admire the atmosphere because it's always tense, and the music gives off this creepy vibe. For example, the enemies and radios, on the other hand, I'm still not a big fan of. The characters in this DLC, though, are by far the best group of characters in any DLC. Dog/God, Dean Domino, Christine, and the evil Father Elijah. There's just something that keeps bringing me back to the Sierra Madre every time I play this game. The entire story of the DLC and the Sierra Madre itself is just so good to put lower on the list. Overall, a masterpiece of a DLC. Coming in at the number 4 spot, I have Point Lookout. This is easily the best DLC in Fallout 3. By far has my favorite quest in any Fallout DLC as well. Walking with Spirits is by far my favorite. The DLC immediately throws you into an epic battle at Calvert Mansion, who is also alive, but he's just a brain. Once you win the battle, you officially meet one of the coolest ghouls, Desmond Lockhart. You are also introduced to some new enemies like the Tracker and the Brawler. The environment is disgusting, but it works so well. The swamps, the hillbilly-like locations, it's just overall an incredible DLC. Coming in at the number 3 spot, I have Far Harbor. Where do I begin with this DLC? Overall, I think the story in this is better than the main game story overall. Like, very much. Pretty sad, right? Dima is easily one of the best characters in all of Fallout 4, and in Fallout games as a whole. Dima and Nick Valentine's storyline is also very interesting in the game. The environment is pretty much like Point Lookout, but in my opinion, even better. And with a handful of new enemies, what's there not to like about Far Harbor? Coming in at the number 2 spot, I have Old World Blues. This DLC is literally close to perfect. The characters, the fucking dialogue. The dialogue is a bit much, but it works. The characters are all robots, some of them more important than others. Some of the characters that are really important are Dr. Klein and Dr. Mobius. In my opinion, Dr. Mobius is the best character in the DLC though. Plus, Stewie fucking Griffin voices as your brain. If that ain't cool, I don't know what is. There are cool sync upgrades as well, a talking toaster and others. The standout one is Muggy though, a little robot who's obsessed with coffee mugs. The whole idea of the DLC is really cool as well. You help Dr. Klein and the others against Mobius, just to find out that Mobius is a nice guy who is just addicted to chems. By far the funniest DLC as well. The humor is great. From robotic rad scorpions to Stripe the tiny Deathclaw. So close to the number 1 spot, but in my opinion, it's only second. Coming in at number 1, I have Lonesome Road. This is easily my favorite DLC ever made. Some people don't like it and some people do, and I don't understand it. It's by far easily the best. The Courier 6 storyline between you and Ulysses is extremely good. It relates and connects to the main story in Fallout New Vegas. And this DLC is exactly what it is called, a lonesome path full of enemies, such as Deathclaws, Sentry Bots, and the new enemies like the Tunneler and the Marked Men. Every little area makes the tension between Ulysses and yourself more exciting when you finally get to him. Eddie being in the DLC is also a really cool thing they added. It's cool to have a companion with you. Until Ulysses takes him from you, and you have to go to the rest of the way by yourself. Ulysses also had the most badass voice in all of Fallout New Vegas, in my opinion. I just love this DLC. Everything about it, from the story to the gameplay to the environment. Everything I love. That's why it comes in at the number 1 spot. That is it. That's my list. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Until next time. Oh yeah, make sure you go watch and like Big Yoshi. We need 20k views.